All right, so beta. A lot of people talk about this because it implies a lot. Uh, the notion of beta for most in the ape verse is that if you have a negative beta, then AMC or GameStop or whatever should do the opposite of what the overall market does, which is true to an extent. But the problem is people don't quite fully understand what beta is for and what it represents, which is beta is a number that is positive or negative, and it serves as some metric against a benchmark. So if you perform with something, you'll have a positive beta, and if you're the inverse of it, you'll have a negative beta. You can think of it as just simply like a correlation. There is a formula to it. If you're somebody that um, is a portfolio manager or anywhere that is of significance in the world of finance, it's all basically just variances. So when people talk about uh, negative beta, the underlying problem is that when you source these metrics, they're typically from a collective period and not a snapshot, especially within relevant terms, because Yahoo Finance, for example, I believe samples from a 5-year period, and that's great in the world of standard trading or investment rather, not really trading. So if you look at your Apples and your Microsofts and your Amazons, if you're looking for a long-term investment, of course you'd want to look at beta, especially if it's of a 5-year sampling period. The problem of problems, not to be a negative Nelly, but the problem of problems is that there's been a lot of misunderstanding with what beta is, and it's been conflated into a metric that is creating distortions of reality. So here's the beta of AMC, and you can see that I have this cut off from February 5th past, but this is the beta going back to, you can go all the way back to its IPO. Ever since January, though, it's actually just fallen off the cliff, or off a cliff, uh, which is really an odd trend, but it has a -2 right now, and you can actually see intraday what it does. It'll typically toggle between being pegged with SPY, or I think it was the Dow. I think it has a very strong relationship with the Dow whenever the market makers of question who manage whatever order flow with the stock, if there is hostility in the market or unease in the market, typically market makers will peg either order flow or whatever it is that involves their margins that represent risk with a major index, which is what pegging is. Well, pegging in finance. So anywho, the point in this is that there's been a lot of confusion about it, and I just want to clarify it because people have this misconception of when SPY is red that we should be going up. The moment there's a red candle on SPY that we should get a green, which is just not true, unfortunately. Now over a longer period of time, you can see the. I mean, it's obvious there is some form of a negative beta going on, but it's not instantaneous. It's not within the moment. So I wanted to make that relatively clear. If you're interested in more, I hate to say the word advanced because it's not really advanced, but more sophisticated or more professional approaches to creating metrics of a security, I recommend digging into Investopedia. They're a great resource for it, but that's negative beta. Yes, it's true, but it's not what most people claim it to be. And for shits and giggles, let's look at GameStop. Yeah, GameStop, same thing. Yeah, it actually fell off a month before AMC did. Interesting. Yeah, so